We're about to get into the 1970s and 80s in Micronesia, which were some of the most intense and trying of our history. But first, quick summary of where the 1960s had left us. First up, FSM. Imagine trying to build a nation when your decision-making powers are on a tight leash. Limited self-governance? Check. Economic development struggling harder than Joe Biden's approval rating? Also check. Balancing traditional culture with westernization? Imagine walking a tightrope over a pit of hungry crocodiles while balancing political fragmentation on top of your head. Who knew forcing several states with distinct identities and languages to form a unified political entity would be so hard? Oh, and throw in rising sea levels and climate change drama for good measure. Then we have Palau, who was negotiating their political status with the US. It was like a high-stakes poker game where the chips were sovereignty, constitutions, and the bait-and-switch delight we know as free association. Add concerns about the American military playing third wheel, and they were navigating through social and economic development like a ship lost at sea. And finally, shifting our attention to the Marshall Islands. The Marshall Islands grappled with fallout from extensive U.S. nuclear testing on Bikini and Enewetak atolls. Residents were relocated, facing exposure to radioactive fallout. Compensation claims and legal actions ensued. The islands faced challenges in economic development, infrastructure, and political stability. As part of the Trust Territory of the Pacific Islands under the U.S. administration, discussions about their future political status were still ongoing. So there you have it, the fabulous 1960s in Micronesia, a time of limited self-governance, nuclear testing tragedies, and political negotiations hotter than a tropical sun. It's a wonder that our people survived that era, and little did we know that the 1970s and 80s would be so much worse.